All right. Welcome to this special mini masterclass called The Objections Party, where what I'm going to be doing is we're going to be talking about something which for me is actually one of my favorite topics, believe it or not. And it's the whole domain of handling objections and concerns. And what I'm going to suggest to you is that one of the keys to handling objections and concerns is understanding what they are. Now, I've worked with coaches and funnily enough, salespeople and all kinds of different audiences around this over many, many years. And what I'm going to suggest to you is that how most people think of objections and concerns is literally the total opposite of how I think about it. So for most people, if they hear an objection or concern, and here I'll give you some of the top ones that people come to me with, things like I can't afford it, or that's a lot of money, or it's not the right time, or I'll have to go away and think about that, or I'll need to go and speak to my partner about it, or what if it doesn't work for me, or how do you know this is going to work when other courses haven't, or what else? Well, there are so many of them, but I'll go into that as well. By the way, say hi when you get here and type in the objections and concerns that you have or that you're afraid of getting as a coach, because it's really, really powerful to be able to handle live ones. I'll do live ones that are coming up on the screen. So if you've got objections and concerns that you want to throw at me and see how I would handle, go for it. Oh, by the way, if you want to do Thriving Coaches Blueprint for me, but you've got an objection to it, like anything from I can't afford it, or what if it doesn't work, or any of those things, put them in, like, let me know and I'll handle them. So the way that most coaches, most therapists, most trainers and change workers think about objections is that they're like an obstacle to be overcome. And so when they hear an objection or concern, their heart kind of sinks and they're like, the person doesn't want to work with me. But that isn't it at all. It's the exact opposite. See, when I hear an objection or concern, my ears prick up. It's a green light. So this is a great one from Linda. That's more expensive than I was expecting. I can't afford that. Great. I will definitely handle that, Linda. I'll come back to, I'll tell you exactly how I work through that. I love that one. Thanks for putting that one in, by the way, Linda. And everyone else, if you've got objections and concerns that you either have got from clients or that you're afraid you might get from clients, or that you have when you're thinking about signing up with a coach or anything like that, type them into the chat and I'll show you how I would handle those. So I'll get to that one, Linda. So for a lot of people, they see it as an obstacle, as a stopper, as something that's getting in their way. I see it as the opposite. It's a green light because it means that the person is seriously considering your offer. They're interested. They're paying attention. They've got this far with you to solving their problem, to helping them find a solution that matters for them. And when they give you their objection or concern, they're telling you about an obstacle that they've run up against to working with you. So they want to work with you, but they've run into an obstacle that has stopped them in their tracks. It's also known as, so for instance, Linda gave this example of that's more expensive than I was expecting. I can't afford that. Well, speaking to you guys as coaches, as therapists, as change workers, what do we call it when someone says I can't? If someone says, I can't do public speaking, or I can't build a successful business, or I can't lose weight, or I can't stop smoking, or I can't learn to paint, or I can't, what do we call it when someone has an I can't? I'll give you a hint. It's a limiting belief. It's a limiting belief. So your client has literally said to you effectively, hey, I would really love to work with you, and I've run up against this limiting belief. Will you help me get it clear? Will you help me get, yeah, exactly, Linda. It's a limiting belief. So now here's the thing, speaking to you as a coach, we've all spent loads of time learning how to work with, well, if you're anything like me, you've spent loads of time learning how to work with people on their limiting beliefs, because that's what's going to get in the way of them being able to create the lives they want to create and do the things they want to do and make that. So when I'm first working with coaches and trainers and therapists, often they have tons of limiting beliefs. So like if I'm looking at, I'll tell you a story. I was working with a guy called Sam Jarman. When he and I first met, he was charging by the hour. He's a golf pro. right? He made his money basically selling golf coaching and golf lessons by the hour. I think he charged 35 or 40 pounds. I said, man, you need to move to a package model. No, like his business was boom bust all the time, very seasonal. It's just, and he really wanted to stabilize his income. I said, you need to move to a package model because that'll stabilize your income. You have to do much less selling. So he was sold on the idea that he would love to move to a coaching package model, but he was like, I can't do it. You can't do it in the golf industry. It wouldn't work here. I'm like, no, that's good news because that means there's no competition for it. It's a great place to do it. Well, now he works like that, but he had an I can't. So when people have an I can't, I want to help them get past it. So when someone says to me, to use Linda's example, that's more expensive than I was expecting, I can't afford that. I know, oh, you're very, very interested in working with me and you've run up against this internal obstacle and it's my job to help you to help you get clarity on it. Now that it may be that they absolutely, it's just not a good thing for them to invest in at the moment, but it may be they've just run up against their money story or some limiting ideas about abundance or whatever it might be. So when someone says something like that to me, I'm like, oh, you're very interested in working with me. So let's see if we can help you get this clear. So I'm going to listen. I'm going to get very, very curious. And I'm going to start paying attention, like special attention to that. So we've got some great examples. Linda said competing priorities for their money or time as well. So I can guess at what you mean by that. But if you say what the person actually says rather than it'll be easier for me to understand. Julia said, I need to ask my partner. Totally get it. Now, I'll talk to you specifically about how I handle that, actually. Let me make a note. So my first kind of step one with handling any kind of objection or concern is you want to look at what your response to it is. Because if your heart sinks and you're like, oh, they don't want to work with me, well, they'll pick up on that. They'll feel uncomfortable. A much more rational move is, this is a go signal. This is a green light. They're very, very curious. You want to engage with them. So I'll start asking questions. So I'll tell you a story, funnily enough, relating to the one that Linda had said. That's more expensive than I was expecting. I can't afford that. I was telling someone this story yesterday. I was working with this guy. So this guy, he was talking to me about hiring me to do some work in his company. So he owned a software company. This is years ago. This is like 15, no, maybe even 20 years ago. So we're talking about me doing some work for his company. And he said, how much do you charge? I said, well, it's, I can't remember. I think it was 950 pounds a day at the time. So I was 950 pounds a day. He's like, 950 pounds a day? That's a lot of money. I can't afford it. So I get curious with him. I'm like, well, it is a significant investment, right? Like I didn't try and pretend it wasn't a lot of money. It's a significant investment, right? If you're going to invest 950 pounds a day or 1,000 pounds a day or a couple of £1,000 in whatever, that's a significant investment. So I said, I agree, it's a significant investment. I said, but what are you comparing it to? Because he'd said, that's a lot of money. I said, you said it's a lot of money. What are you comparing it to? He said, I'm not comparing it to anything. It's just a lot of money. I said, well, hang on a second. You must be comparing it to something. I said, for instance, if you're comparing it to the price of a loaf of bread, which is maybe £1, then yeah, it's a hell of a lot of money. It's 900 times more expensive than a loaf of bread. But if you're comparing this to this house that we're sitting in, where he lived, we're in his house, which was a massive house with a 3-car garage on the edge of a golf course, right? Like this guy owned a 60 million pound turnover software company. They said, if you compare it to the price of this house, it's not very much at all. His house was like, I don't know, 500,000 pounds or 750,000 pounds. So I said, so what are you comparing it to? He said, well, I guess I'm comparing it to what I charge myself out when I go into a client site and do some consulting for them. I said, what do you charge yourself at? And he said, 650 pounds a day. I said, would you like to learn how to up your prices and charge 950 pounds a day or double that? He's like, yeah. I said, that'll cost you 950 pounds a day. And he's like, okay, fair enough. And he invested in working with me. But here's the thing. I wasn't wrong-footed by it because I got curious. I wanted to know, what are you comparing it to? Like, if I'll give you an example. So you may know that the doors are open to our Thriving Coaches Blueprint program, which is starting very soon. Like the doors close on Friday night at midnight. So by the way, if you're interested, you can find out all the details at jamiesmart.com/thriving. And if you just want to jump on the program, if you already know you want to join it, go to jamiesmart.com/join. So let me just set that as, I'll get that scrolling along the bottom. So it's easier. Hang on a second. So anyway, I lost my place now. I know I was talking to you about something. So my focus is always on getting curious. I want to understand their world. I want to get connected with them. So for instance, Thriving Coaches Blueprint, it's a significant investment. So I wouldn't expect anyone to invest in it unless they're going to get a good return on investment. So often I'll have someone say, oh, that's a lot of money. So we're back to Linda's example, right? Let me just find it again. Linda's example. That's more expensive than I was expecting. I can't afford that. Well, so I'm curious now. I'm curious. So I'll say, okay, now let me understand. If they say that, I'll say, just to make sure we're on the same page, are you saying that if money wasn't an issue, you'd totally be joining me for this? 100% you'd be doing it? Now, here's the very interesting thing specifically about the money objection. If someone says, I can't afford it, and I say, yeah, are you saying that if it wasn't for the money, you'd definitely be joining us? One of two things happen. Either they go, 100%, yeah, I'd be in. It's just the money. Or they say, oh, well, actually, I'm tidying my sock drawer that night, and my partner's getting her hair done, and I'm planning to go, cattle rustling or whatever. So in our society, money is a good excuse for not doing something. So I always want to test that. Are they just using the money as an excuse, or is it a genuine financial concern? But either way, it's important to get to it. So if someone says to me, I can't afford it, I'll say, just to make sure we're on the same page, are you saying that if money wasn't an issue, you'd definitely be doing it? And they're either like, oh, no, I'm not sure about that. Or they're like, oh, yeah, definitely. Now, if they're, oh, yeah, definitely, then I'm going to explore that with them. If they're like, oh, well, no, there are these other things, I want to dig in deeper with them. So either way, it's really useful information. Curious. But here's the other thing. The feeling I'm in is one of curiosity and connection. So they pick up on that. So they're not feeling defensive or like I'm trying to convince them or pressure them or anything like that. Now, here's the other thing I'll ask them. If they say, I can't afford it, and I'm like, okay, so just to make sure we're on the same page, are you saying to me that if it wasn't for the money, you'd definitely be joining us 100%? And they go, yeah, definitely. And they're congruent with it. I'll say, okay, so do me a favor. I'll say, where would you have to be, say, in 6 months' time, having come on this program, in order to look back on your decision to come on Thriving Coaches Blueprint as one of the best decisions you've ever made? Or where would you have to be in a year's time to look back on your decision to work with me one-to-one as one of the best investments you've ever made, like a no-brainer good decision? Where would you have to be? I'll say, for some people, it'll be they'd have to get 3 new clients. For someone else, it might be they'd need to double their money back. They'd need to double their get double their return on investment. For someone else, it might be more about that sense of inner confidence and comfort just with having enrollment conversation. For someone else, they might say, you know what, I just need to get my first package client signed up. So everyone will have a different answer to that question. But I want to ask them, I want to find out, where would you have to be to justify it? Because if you stop and think about it, whether it's working with me on a course or working with someone on a coaching program or joining a mastermind group or whatever it might be, they've got to cost justify it to themselves. They've got to make it make sense to themselves. So I want to find out, how are you going to make it make sense to yourself? How are you going to justify that in your own mind? So you're helping them expand their picture of what's possible and what would make sense. So I find that a very powerful question. Where would you have to be 6 months from now or a year from now in order to look back on your decision to work with me as being a brilliant decision, as a fantastic investment with a fantastic return on investment? What would it have to be? And people will answer that and they'll think about it. And often, and again, speaking to you as a coach, often they never have thought about it. And that's the point. Man, I'm warming up now. You're a coach. And so your job is to help people expand their perception of what's possible to them. So that's what this is. This is expanding people's perception of what's possible for them. It's expanding possibilities. It's enriching their life. It's opening them up to what's possible for them. It's freeing from limited ideas of what's possible and what's not possible and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's so, so very powerful. So, yeah, I got to tell you, Linda, the old it's more expensive than I was expecting. I can't afford it. I love that. And here's the thing: you guys know my CEO intensive costs £50,000 plus VAT, so it comes out being like £60,000, I think. So that's a big chunk of cash. I expect anyone who I propose that to go, that's a lot of money. Like anyone who doesn't, if they don't do that, I'll ask them about it because they should be thinking that. They should be thinking it's a lot of money. So I want to have that conversation with them. I want to have that conversation with them. Let me tell you another story. Actually, I've got another one I like. This is one of my favorites. So Jillian said, I need to ask my partner. That's a really important one. Here, I'll tell you exactly how I handle that, because this is really important. And again, it's coming from that place of curiosity and connection. Now, if someone says, I need to talk to my partner about it, I need to talk to my husband about it, I need to talk to my wife about it, that's really important. Like I don't want to try and convince someone that they shouldn't talk to their significant other about a significant investment. Of course they should. So I want to make sure they've got a clear mindset as they go into that to talk to their partner. So here's what I'll say to them, something like this. Like when I say, here's what I'll say to them, I'm just saying what occurs to me, because it's not the words that matter. It's the understanding behind the words that's doing the heavy lifting. So if someone says to me, Jillian's example, I need to ask my partner about this, or I need to talk to my partner about it, I'll say something like this. I'll say, of course you do. You totally should. That only makes sense. I said, but before you do, here's what I encourage you to do. Take a little time for yourself to reflect on it and just get clear for yourself on whether you're in or out. Is this a hell yes for you, or is it a maybe another time? And I said, and I'm cool either way. I want you to make the decision that's right for you. But before you even speak to your partner, decide for yourself whether it's a hell yes or a maybe later. And here's why. When you go and speak to your partner doesn't know me. Your partner probably doesn't know the world of coaching and growing a coaching business and all that sort of stuff. So when you go and speak to your partner is going to be looking to you for guidance on whether they should say yes or no. They're going to be sounding you out. They're going to be feeling for your energy in this. So you want to make sure that your energy is as clear and pristine and lined up as possible, so that when you're having the conversation with them, it's just they're thinking about it for themselves rather than trying to read what's going on for you. So whatever you do, get clear first, then absolutely speak to your partner about it. Find out what they think, get their take on it. But it's crucial to get clear for yourself first. So that's how I see it. Does that make sense, Jillian? Let me know. Mikhail is so one. Oh, I haven't seen this one before. I like it though. So if someone says, if therapy didn't help me, how can coaching help me? I said, well, that's a great question. What kind of therapy did you do? And what was your hope from that? And so if they go, well, I went to Freudian psychoanalysis for 20 years and I lay on the couch every week for an hour and paid a princely sum to dig over my past. I say, oh, what happened? They're like, well, I didn't get any better. I'm like, yeah, well, what do you make of that? What do you make of that? It's like, well, I'm just talking about the past. It's not going to do anything. And it's like, okay, would you like to understand how coaching is different? Well, sure. Well, in coaching, we've got a couple of orientations, especially with clarity coaching. With clarity coaching, we're starting from the basis, actually, that inside you is a source of clarity and resilience and well-being and creativity and possibility, a source of transformation that can resolve all the issues that you've been struggling with and can create a beautiful life for you, and I guess as I think about it, really that's what therapy should be doing. But I've worked, like I teach therapists, and I've worked with countless people who have been through therapy, and often a brief experience of coaching has had more impact on them than months or years of therapy. Now, that's not to say that therapy can't work. Often it boils down to the quality of the therapist. And that's also true with coaching. So you want to be sure that when you're selecting someone to work with, you've got a good rapport with them, they've got a good track record, and you just genuinely have the sense that this person can make a difference to you. You want to test that for yourself, absolutely. But the focusing on coaching is on waking you up to what you've got going for you and who you really are, and orienting yourself to enjoying the present and seeing what's possible for you in your future. Because the whole idea of coaching is this is about enrolling you in a bigger vision for your life, a bigger idea of what's possible for you. So it isn't about raking over the past. It's about enrolling you in your brightest future. Now, I mean, I'm just shooting from the hip with that, because the difference between responding to Michaela's example and doing something with someone who's sitting in front of me is I'll be responding to them and asking them questions and that sort of thing. But just off the top of my head, like if someone says, therapy hasn't helped, how's coaching going to help? What therapy did you do? What were your ideas about how it would help? How do you explain what's happened? Like, I want to find out. I want to find out. So what else? Let me know what else. I'll go through some of the others. We put up a poll in the group today. What else? Oh yeah, I need to go away and think about it. This is a great one. And lots of times when people go, oh, I need to go away and think about it, coaches go, okay. Oh, I guess they don't want to work with you. When someone goes to me and they say, I need to go away and think about it, I'm like, cool. What are you going to think about? then they were like, oh, I don't know. Sometimes people will go, I just need to reflect on it. They say, when I get a sense of it, I'll just get a feeling that, yeah, this is the right thing to do. This is the right direction. I'm like, cool. How do you know what are the conditions when that happens? They're like, oh, well, I go for a walk and I just let things settle down and then I get a sense of it either way. I say, okay, can you do me a favor? Make sure you schedule some time to go for a walk so you can find out for yourself. See, when I'm having an enrollment conversation with someone, I want them to make the best choice for them. And I know they're going to make the best choice for them when they're not preoccupied and thinking. I had someone I was speaking to not so long ago, and I got on the call to make my proposal to them. And they were clearly like just completely preoccupied with other stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to make a proposal to you when you're preoccupied. Say, I need us to find a time when you can pay attention, when you can be here with me, so we can listen to each other and really get clear on whether this is the right thing for you or not. So like, put all the other stuff down and let me know a time when we can really give this the attention that you and it deserves. Well, that's really important. It's really important. You want to make sure that if someone's going to go away and think about it, they're thinking about it in a way that is resourceful and in touch with what's possible for them and what they care about. The other thing is, if someone's going to go away and think about it, I may guide their attention so that and invite them to think about, like, if by the time someone's going away to think about it, I'll have asked them about what would you love to have happen. So let's say, for example, let's say I'm enrolling someone on to help work with building their business, building their coaching business, say, and they're like, yeah, I need to go away and think about it. And let's say I've already asked them, what do you want? If I could wave a magic wand and you could have your coaching business however you want it to be, how would you know the magic wand had worked? And so let's say they've come back to me with like, well, I'd love to have a stream of paying clients, and I'd love to be enrolling people on packages and earning, 5,000 or 10,000 pounds from those packages, and maybe working with a half a dozen clients. So I'm generating, 120,000 pounds a year. And I'd like to have some products, and I'd like to be doing some charity work. So they've got this list of stuff that we've talked through. I say, okay. And then they say, okay, and I propose my package. They're like, I've got to go away and think about it. So, okay, as you go away and think about it, I really encourage you to spend some time thinking about that vision that you were painting for me. Like, when you have your business running that way with a steady stream of clients and generating, whatever you're generating financially, whether it's, 50 to 60,000 pounds a year, or 120 to 200,000 pounds a year, and you're enrolling people on high value packages, and you're doing intensives and doing retreats, and you've got products and all that sort of stuff. What will that give you that you wouldn't otherwise have? So now put your attention there. Like, what's that going to do to you? And what can you create from there? What becomes possible for you? So I want to, again, as coaches, our job is to enroll people in a bigger future for what's possible for them. And so we want to demonstrate that in how we're showing up. If our message to our clients is, you can do whatever you put your mind to, and you can transcend your ideas of what's possible for you, and you're capable of shaking off the limitations of the past. But then we go home and we're like, I'm not willing to do that for myself. Well, that's going to come across to them. So you need to walk your talk. You need to demonstrate what you're saying to your client. So someone else has said, what if someone says, I don't resonate with the inside out understanding or the 3 principles? Well, here's the funny thing. I'm never trying to sell the 3 principles. When I'm having an enrollment conversation with someone, so if I'm enrolling a one-to-one client, for instance, let's say they've never heard of the 3 principles, I won't mention them. Like, why would I mention them? I'll be like, I'll find out what they care about. So I'll be like, if I could wave a magic wand and you could have things however you want them to be, how would you know the magic wand had worked? And I'll listen to them and I'll dive into that with them. And then I'll figure out, is this something I can actually help them with? Because speaking to you as a coach, the 3 principles, the inside out understanding, whatever methodology you might be using or whatever understanding you might be using, as a coach, that's your delivery system for helping people get the results that they care about. My job as a coach isn't to teach people the principles. My job is to help people identify the results that matter to them, and then help them achieve those, help them get the goals they want to achieve, the results they want to create, the solve the problems they want to solve, go through the transformations they want to go through, make the changes they want to make. Now, it just so happens that for me, I find that the 3 principles and the inside out understanding has been incredibly valuable in my own life. And I find it is absolutely ninja for helping clients get their results. But that doesn't mean I need to sell them on it. They're going to be sold on me as a coach because of the quality of my listening, the quality of my connection, the quality of the insights and realizations they have while they're in conversation with me or while they're in a training course with me. That's what's going to enroll them. So I'm not trying to sell them on the 3 principles. I'm not trying to sell them on why they should believe the inside out understanding. It doesn't usually even come into our conversation. It's just not, that's not my job isn't to try and to advocate for that. As part of my mission as a human being and as a business owner, I believe that these principles hold the future for humanity, and I imagine a world where everyone already knows about what they got going for them. I would love that, but that doesn't mean I need to advocate it when I'm enrolling a client. For me, it's a delivery system. It's sort of like if you go into a phone shop and you're like, I want to buy a phone, you don't have to resonate with, the software they use, iOS software system or whatever that gets your Apple phone running. You just want to be able to make your calls, right? If you that, so I just, it doesn't even come into the conversation. Linda says, I love that sensitivity to where they're at and giving them space to consider their decision. Yeah, well, my approach to enrollment, I never want to pressure people. I never want to be like cajoling or manipulating. I want to be making it totally open and clear because the thing is, I want your enrollment conversations to feel as good as your great coaching conversations, right? So they should. And if they're not, and even stuff like objections and concerns, if they don't feel as good as the coaching conversations, that's somewhere where you've got something to work on. That's something where you've got something to see, because they can be. So someone says, what do you do when a client has either said yes or need to think about it, but then ghosts you or won't re-engage after a no follow-up message? Okay, so in my experience, that's actually a sign that you didn't lay the groundwork strongly enough in the first place, okay? So when I'm having an enrollment conversation with someone, if they say yes, I'm wanting to test that. I'm wanting to test the investment. I'm wanting to book in a call for when we're going to get back together, book in the next steps, because coaching is a relationship business. So if you stop and think about it, if you have a great relationship with someone, you're not going to ghost them. Right. And so if that ever happens to me, still does once in a blue moon, it's always a sign that I haven't developed enough relationship with them. Now, what do? Two things I do. The first thing I do is if that happens, I just let it go. It's like, okay, better luck next time. And I put it out there into the world. I'm like, okay, they're not coming back. But the amazing thing is when I just let go of it, incredibly, they often come back. Having said that, it happens very rarely these days. It's the answer to that is actually it's not solved after they ghost you. It's solved long before they even get to that point. It's about setting the frame right from the beginning, setting a leadership frame, making sure that you're absolutely clear on some dream come true result they want to create, making sure that you've exhibited strong leadership in how you're setting the calls up, the package, all that sort of stuff, the next steps, all that sort of stuff, but also making sure there's enough honesty and connection in the relationship that they're willing to have uncomfortable conversations with you. I'll give you an example. I mentioned this on the call the other night and in the Secret Coaching Business channel. There are 3 hidden beliefs, and this is really important. There are 3 hidden beliefs that stop clients hiring you as a coach. And here are the 3 hidden beliefs. The first one is they don't believe the thing is possible. So you've got them present to some dream come true result. So maybe it's start a business, or maybe it's lose weight, or maybe it's find the love of their life, or maybe it's sort out their money issues forever, or maybe it's, find a steady stream of clients, whatever it might be. So the first hidden belief, and they don't even necessarily know that they think this, the first hidden belief is that it's just not possible. They go, it's just not possible. It's not possible for people to lose weight. So you go, well, has no one ever lost weight? Oh yeah, they do, but then they put it all back on again. It's like, okay, they don't think it's possible. So that's time for some coaching, right? Doesn't anyone start a successful? Oh yeah, people do, but only people who are like being subsidized by the government or ripping people off or whatever. So it's like, okay, well, if they don't believe it's possible for anyone, they're not going to hire you. Why would they hire you to do something they don't think is possible? Again, it's a limiting belief, but they won't come out and say it because they don't necessarily even know they think it. So you got to do your discovery work to uncover it. Second, and by the way, if they have these limiting beliefs, they'll ghost you. They'll ghost you. So you need to uncover this in your enrollment conversation. Second limiting belief is it's possible. I know it's possible, but not for me. Now, I have this with a lot of coaches when it comes to growing a business, when it comes to doing really high impact coaching. They think there's something wrong with them. So they see why it's possible for me or for my colleagues, but they think there's something wrong with them, something different about them that means they can't do it. And it's the same for lots of clients. If I go for those same kind of categories, weight loss, relationships, money, career, that sort of thing, people go, oh yeah, I know it's possible, but not for me. I used to have this when I first realized that back in like the late 90s, I desperately wanted to start my own business or go contracting or something, but I thought there was something different about me that meant I had employee DNA. I thought I couldn't do it. And then I had a realization one day. It's like, yeah, you can do whatever you put your mind to. Boom, handed in my notice a couple of days later, started investing in myself, all that sort of stuff. So it's absolutely possible. But if they've got that hidden belief that either it's not possible or it's not possible for them, it's possible, but it's not possible for them, that'll stop them in their tracks. I had this one client. She was talking to me about coming on my Clarity certification training. So this is like an 11,000 pound training program. It's a big investment of time and energy and money. It's 7 months long. It's a big investment of trust for that matter. And she's like, I just don't know if I can become a coach. I don't know if I can do it. So I'd been talking to her a while, and she said this, and because I was like, so, what is it that's getting in the way? She's like, I just don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I don't think I'm going to be able to be a coach. I don't think I have the skill to be able to make that kind of difference to people. And I don't think I'm even going to be able to make it. And I'm like, you Because she just had this amazing feel to her, and I knew it was possible. Not because she was so great, because it's possible for anyone if that's their calling, if that's their passion. So we had that conversation. She's like, oh, okay. So then it's like, it's a whole different ball game once the person knows that it's possible for them. Now, and here's the thing, if you know it's possible for them, they're much more likely to pick up on that. So it's why one of the most powerful things you can do is really, really see for yourself what your clients got going for them. And by the way, that's why I did a weekend boot camp a couple of years ago. It was the first ever Thriving Coaches Blueprint live event. We recorded the whole thing, and the focus of that whole weekend was on seeing what your client has going for them, because that gives you so much more confidence to have an impact in their lives. So I've included that as one of the free bonuses in the Thriving Coaches Blueprint when you sign up before the doors close this Friday at midnight. But we're including the recordings of that whole weekend because it's a powerhouse for waking you up to that. So just in case you haven't already seen it, if you already know you want to join TCB, you can just go over to jamiesmart.com/join and book your place now. All the stuff I'm talking about in this session, we go into in way more depth on Thriving Coaches Blueprint, so you can really feel confident handling objections and concerns and enrolling your clients on the kind of packages you want to enroll them on. But the other thing is, if you're not so sure that you want to join yet, but you want to find out more about the program first, go to jamiesmart.com/thriving, and you'll see all the program details. It'll tell you all about the different bonuses. We've got a bonus package worth over £6,000, all the different things that are included and how the whole program works. So go check those out. So jamiesmart.com/join to join right away, and jamiesmart.com/thriving to find out all the details. Again, doors close Friday at midnight, so that's in just a couple of days, a day after tomorrow. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So the first hidden limiting belief that clients have that stop them hiring you as a coach is it's not possible. Second hidden limiting belief they have, it's possible, but not for me. And if they believe either of those, they ain't going to hire you, because why would they hire you to do something they know isn't possible? The third limiting belief, and this is the one that almost no coaches ever deal with. And remember, these are hidden beliefs. So the person they're not even necessarily consciously aware of them. Okay. The third hidden limiting belief is they're like, it's possible for me, but you're not the guy to help me with it. Now, if I think that that's going on, I'll say, listen, there are these three limiting beliefs that people have, and they're hidden. They don't even necessarily know about them. The first ones, they don't believe it's possible. And so I'll ask them, I'll say, do you believe it's possible for someone to grow a thriving coaching business? Now, sometimes they'll be like, no, the only coaches making any money are the ones teaching other coaches. If they say that, I'll just show them my books, and I'll show them all the clients who aren't coaches who are paying me money and that's for coaching and training and all that sort of stuff. So I can handle that one quite easily. But then the second one is, yeah, it's possible, but not for me. Now, if it's that one, then I work with them on that. I get curious with them. I coach them around that, because I don't even want them to hire me until they know that it's possible for them. I already know it's possible, but I want them to know. But the third one is, they know it's possible. They know it's possible for them, but they don't think that I'm the guy to help them. So I'll say that. I'll say the third limiting belief is, you know it's possible. You know it's possible for you, but you don't think I'm the guy to help you. And whenever I say that, people go, oh, no, you're a really good coach. No, I think you're really good. You could definitely help. I'm like, don't give me that. Listen, I got no ego on this. Either I'm the right guy to help you or I'm not. If I'm not the right guy to help you, then I don't want to help you. Why would I want to take your money if I can't help you? But if I am the right guy to help you, then let's get to the heart of it. Let's get going on it, because then I'll be able to help you and make a difference to you. So let's figure out whether or not I'm the right guy to help you. What do you need to know that will let you know? So I want to have that conversation with them. I don't want it to be kind of out in the maybe world. I just need to take a drink of water. Man, I'm going for it tonight. So yeah, I really want to dive into it with them. Now, there's a comment here that says, I didn't mention them, they did. I don't know what that means. So you'll have to give me the whole sentence. what if you aren't confident that they're going to get what they want from the coaching? Then you definitely shouldn't enroll them. If you're not confident that they're going to get what they want, if you don't think you can deliver, this is really important, actually. This is really important. I think if you don't, you need to have a conversation with the client in the enrollment conversation where you're getting clear on what they can expect, what they can't expect. So sometimes I'll be speaking to someone, for instance, I'll be speaking to someone who's never coached someone before. And they say, I want to be earning £1 million a year by the end of the year. I'm like, okay, what's your plan? They're like, well, I'm going to affirm it and hope that I'm like, well, if you're going to be charging clients a total of £1 million a year for coaching, you're going to need to develop some coaching skills, some business skills, some marketing skills. You're going to need to work at it. My experience is usually takes a couple of years before people develop that, abilities to coach people and start enrolling people and that sort of thing. And so I've been building the Thriving Coaches roadmap so that we can take people on the journey faster. So I've had people who are going from never coached someone outside of their coaching course a year ago to enrolling people on packages 6 to 12 months later and that sort of thing. So it's a process, but I want to be realistic with them about what's likely and that sort of thing. So now if they want something and I'm like, there is no way that I can help them get that, then I'll tell them because I don't want to, I only want to work with them if I feel confident that this is the right thing for them and all that sort of stuff. This is why we screen people for Thriving Coaches Blueprint. We want to make sure they're the right person. So for instance, when we were first running the program, we allowed some people on the program who were just struggling with money so badly that we ended up having to refund them, and it kind of brought the vibe of the group down. So we want to make sure that people are doing okay and that we're not overselling it. So it's really important. I think it's really important that you get confident in yourself about get clear with yourself about what you can deliver, what you can't deliver, all that sort of stuff. Now, so keep them coming. I want to hear, what are your objections and concerns? Another one, I'm going to do a couple more maybe, and then we'll leave it. One client I was working with, so we'd had a couple of enrollment conversations. So we were on our second enrollment conversation. We're sitting by the river, literally sitting by a river in Chiswick, where I used to live. And he said, well, I've got a concern, Jamie. I said, what's that? He said, well, you're about to enroll me on I think then it was a 35,000 or 40,000 pound coaching package. I said, yeah. And he said, and I'm concerned that you're about to sell me a bottle of water for 40,000 pounds. And we're sitting right next to the river that you just filled the bottle up from. Because he had an understanding of the principles, and he saw that I was pointing to something he already had. So he said, yeah, I'm about to pay you 40 grand for a bottle of water, and we're sitting next to the river you just filled it up from. So I reflected on it. I listened to him, and I thought about it. I thought, yeah, that's a really good point. And I was reflecting on it. I said, you're absolutely right. I said, but let me tune the metaphor a bit. I said, I am about to sell you a bottle of water for 40,000 pounds. And we are sitting right next to the river that I've filled it up from. I said, so you're absolutely right. I said, but here's the other piece of it. I said, you've been sitting next to the river your whole life and you're dying of thirst. I'm not just going to give you this bottle of water. I'm going to show you how to fill it up for yourself so you never have to go thirsty again. He said, okay, I'm in. And that was that. Now, here's the thing. I've told that story and people are like, oh, Ninja, that's so good. No. I was listening to him. I was genuinely curious. I was getting impacted by his words. We were connected. He was being honest with me, and I really appreciated it. And so I was able to because of my understanding of how this stuff works, I was able to say to him, here's how I see it. It was very, very powerful. Linda says, I'm not sure I'm ready for this. I'd be like, yeah, maybe not. How would you know if you're ready? It was a great question. How would you know? What would you see? What would you see? What would you see? What would you hear? What would you feel? What would you know that would let you know you're ready to do this? What would you know? How would you know? Like, I want to find out. So again, now Linda, I don't know what they're going to answer when I say that. So I'm going to be listening. I'm going to be curious. I'm going to be finding out. Yeah. How would you know? Like, how does anyone know? I want to find out the answer to that, because depending on what they say, what I come back with is going to be completely different. It's such a great example. Like, I don't know what would happen once they answer that. So they say, I'm not sure I'm ready for this. I'll tell you a story, actually. So many, many years ago, someone who has since gone on to become a leader in her field in the world of coaching. But early in her journey, I think she was just transitioning from her job at the time. This is a long time ago. This is like 2004, 2005. So 16 years ago. So she enrolled on at the time I was running like a 6-month training program. It was a master practitioner coaching NLP type thing. And she comes up to me after the first day and she goes to me, she goes, Jamie, I'm just really not sure if I'm supposed to be here on this program. And I said, well, me neither. I said, but you are here. You are here. So I assume that until such times as you aren't, we may as well work on the basis that you are. And she just kind of relaxed because she'd been all up in her head about it. Should I be here or shouldn't I be here? And I just pointed to the fact that you are here. Like the fact that you're here means you're interested in this stuff. The fact that you're here talking to me means I have something to say that is relevant to you on some level, or at least, or you would have gone and talked to someone else. Like the fact that you're here means there's something here that speaks to you and is possible for you and is shining a light for you in some way. And if at some point you're not here, well, then I guess that party's over. But for the moment, here you are. So let's assume that that's enough to know whether this is the right place for you to be. But I didn't say all that. All I said was like what I told you, which was, she said, I'm not sure I should be here. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. But here you are. Boom. That just took all the pressure off. She relaxed into the moment. She stayed the course and she went on to become, quite well known in our field. So it's very cool. Very cool. So yeah, great one, Linda. I'm not sure I'm ready for this. Yeah, fantastic. I want to engage with them. I want to find out. Let me tell you one more story. I'm going to have one more sip of water. I made a list of stories. So let me see if there are other ones. Oh, I'll tell you one more, actually. I'll tell you two more. So here's the first one. A bunch of times, because obviously we're coaching people all around the world, all different time zones. Oh, by the way, if you've just joined, obviously, the Thriving Coaches Blueprint, the doors are open till Friday night. If you want to find out more, head over to jamiesmart.com/thriving. If you want to jump on and join right away, just go to jamiesmart.com/join. The program's filling up. We've already got a great group of people and the doors close Friday at midnight. So if you want to join us, it's going to be amazing. We'll be diving into all of this stuff into way more depth and getting you really comfortable and confident and competent with it, because that really is the key. But I'm not going to tell you all about that program. If you're interested, go to jamiesmart.com/thriving. And there's a video on the page that I made yesterday that tells you all about the program in about 20 minutes. It's pretty concise. And if you know you want to join, then just go to jamiesmart.com/join to join now. So let me tell you two more stories. One of them was, so because we work with people all over the world, right? All different time zones and that sort of thing, and people who have busy schedules, sometimes, especially with a program like TCB or Clarity Certification, they'll be like, oh, I can't make all the dates. Now, bear in mind, this is with people where I've gone through the whole process. So I've said, what would you love to have happen? They say, well, I want to be signing up clients on 30,000 pound packages. I want to generate, $180,000 next year. I want to be working at this level and doing this, this, and this. I say, okay. And they'll say, I'd like to do the program, but I can't make all the calls. It's like, well, it's okay. You'll get the recordings. They're like, I'd prefer not to do recordings. I'd prefer to do it live. I'm like, okay, what's more important? Attending the calls live or hitting the targets that you've set? And they're like, oh yeah. Cause like I've had people on my program, like Kai Jordan. Kai, he was based in Bali when he did Thriving Coaches Blueprint. He was getting up at silly o'clock in the morning, like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. to be on these calls. And I'm like, man, I respect that. And the kind of results he got, he generated over $80,000 in the 3 months of the program in additional income. But that's a commitment to getting what he's come for, to getting the results that matter to him, rather than, the program being exactly to the way he wanted it, exactly the time. It's like, no, I'm going to show up and do it. So again, I'm not sure what that statement means. Sometimes clients don't understand the principle. I'm not sure what that means, but feel free to explain it if you want me to speak to it. So here's the other story I wanted to tell you. So I loved, this was an amazing experience. So I was in central London talking to a prospective client about doing a program. And he asked me a really good question. He goes, listen, Jamie, I've done tons of programs in the past. I've been on loads of courses. I've bought tons of trainings. And they've all been kind of interesting and stuff, but none of them have given me the change I wanted. None have got me the results I wanted. He says, how's this course going to be different? And I gave him an answer, but then I was reflecting, and he said, thanks, and we left. And as I reflected on it, I thought, so I was thinking about it afterwards. I'm like, that wasn't the answer. That wasn't the answer. That wasn't the answer he deserved. And that's not actually when I sat with it, I realized that's not the real answer. So I pick up the phone. I got on the phone to him. This is like 10 minutes later. Get on the phone to him. He's like, hi. I said, hey, man, you asked me, how's this program going to be different from all the other courses you've done? He's like, yeah. I said, well, I didn't give you the right answer. Here's the real answer. Goes, oh, I'm listening. I said, if you decide to come on this program, I'm going to drag you kicking and screaming if necessary into having the life you want, into having the business you want, into having the work you want, into having the results that you want. I said, and you can take that as a guarantee, but you can also take it as a warning. Don't come on this program unless you're willing for things to change. I mean, really change. Because here's the thing. People like what's familiar. They learn from what's new. They learn from what's different, but they like what's familiar. I said, don't come on this program unless you're actually willing to have what you want, unless you're actually willing for things to change. You know, I was running a course many, many years ago. This is like 17 years ago, called The Art of Being. And the people who came on this program, they'd been around the block a few times. They were people who had done a lot of stuff, a lot of personal development. And they came on this course, and I'm looking around the room at the beginning of the course. And I said, you know, as you look around the room, I want you to open to the possibility that you can get what you want. I said, you know, whatever your heart desires, you can get it here. You can get it this weekend. You can get it with me. You can actually have what you want. So I say this to them, and everyone starts shifting uncomfortably in their chairs. I said, I know what you're thinking. I said, you're thinking, now's a bit soon. I do want it. It is my heart's desire. I have been searching for it for years and years and years, but I'm quite busy this week. Maybe you could arrange for it to be delivered in 3 weeks' time or in a couple of months' time or something, because the ego doesn't want to have it. The ego wants to be searching for it. I said, you can have it. You can have it here. You can have it now. You can have it this weekend with me. And it was impactful for people, because my assertion to everyone is you can have your heart's desire. You can have what you've been looking for until now. It's here for you. It's here for you. It's closer than you think. And it takes courage to step up and have what you want. And that's the work I love doing with people. That's the work I love doing with my clients. That's the work I love sharing with the world. And that's what I want to share with you. So if you want to join me on Thriving Coaches Blueprint, if you already know you do, go to jamiesmart.com/join to join it right away. If you want to find out more about it first, go to jamiesmart.com/thriving to see all the program details. It's doors closed Friday night. We've got the boot camp this weekend, which you can attend live. So literally we could be working live together as soon as this weekend. But if you can't make those dates, it's no problem. You'll get the recordings, and you'll also get tickets to TCB boot camps later on in the year or next year. So either way is fine. So oh, and tomorrow we've got case study days. So I'm going to be holding interviews at different points tomorrow with people who are exactly where you are a year ago, and talking to them about where they are now, having gone through Thriving Coaches Blueprint. So anyway, we're nearly done here. Just if there are any more objections or concerns you want me to deal with, type it into the comments now. If you've got any questions, type those into the comments now. I'll give it about 1 minute for those to show up. And if none show up, I'm going to say goodbye. But thank you for your attention. Gosh, this has been an amazing week. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And yeah, to your clarity and success. Thanks, guys. Take care. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.